Lately, a new trend has been creeping into horror games, and no, I'm not talking about mascot horror, survival horror, or any of the usual suspects. In fact, I'm not even sure this genre is horror per se. But it goes by the name of anomaly detection games. Creepy, right? Picture it like this: a mix of spot the difference and psychological tension. You're in a familiar looking space, a corridor, a stairway, maybe even a school floor. Everything looks normal. Or does it? Your job is to find out what's changed. It's like one of those spot the difference puzzles, but with way higher stakes. The most popular one out there right now, from what I've seen, is Exit 8. Imagine walking through a subway station, trying to make it to the 8th exit. See something off? Just turn around and head back. If you're right, congrats, you move on to the next exit. But if you're wrong, it's back to square zero. It's so simple, yet weirdly intense. These anomaly hunting games have been living rent-free in my mind for a while now. The fact that they can mess with your sense of normalcy makes it so much easier to spook you. So naturally, I had to try making one myself. I gave myself 7 days to make a spot the difference style anomaly hunting game from scratch. Here's how that went. Day 1 was all about setting the foundation, which means 3 things: movement, camera, and interaction. Sure, I could have used Unreal Engine's template for movement, but nah, that's too basic. Instead, I created a smoother, more realistic 4-directional movement system using blend spaces. So now the player glides seamlessly in all directions. And don't worry, I grabbed some free Mixamo assets for the animations. So my character isn't walking around like a stiff mannequin, even though he is one. Next up was the camera. True first person view, baby. I stuck that bad boy right on the player's head for a more natural look, adding some subtle sway for immersion. Plus, a spring arm with a slight lag makes everything feel buttery smooth. Then came the interaction system. You'll be able to take pictures of anomalies, like a real ghost hunter, using a raycast from the player's camera. Boom, basic interaction done. Day 1 was mostly research and planning from there. Today was all about making things feel good. I want systems that I can easily carry into future projects, so making sure interaction felt polished was a priority. I added a subtle dot that fades in and out when you look at something interactable, because we love a smooth user experience. For the camera, I put together a basic UI in Photoshop, slapped it into Unreal, and now, when you bring up the camera, you see a heads-up display that makes you feel like you're really holding it. Oh, and when you look at an anomaly while holding the camera, the focus lines turn red. I also laid out the game's main loop, a Japanese school where you walk through the floors that reset when you go down the staircase. Yeah, I thought I'd make things difficult for myself by not keeping it all flat. Spoiler alert, probably should have just kept it all on one level. Day 3. A little less exciting but necessary. I fleshed out the school's interior, adding clutter and props to make it feel more alive. Well, as alive as an empty school can feel. I even added lockers the player can open and close, because what's a horror game without spooky lockers? Perfect for hiding an anomaly. Things got really spicy on day 4. I added a flash feature to the camera. The flash will come in handy when the game really wants to mess with you by turning the lights off. I made myself an option to kill the lights on certain floors. Oh, and I started brainstorming how to make the level actually loop. Turns out, that's way more complicated than it sounds. Well, at least for my smooth brain. Level streaming, the bane of my existence. On day 5, after a lot of trial and error and binge watching a lot of tutorials, I finally figured out how to use level streaming in a way that wouldn't fry my computer. Streaming in levels keeps everything nice and smooth with minimal lag. It's the best solution I've found that doesn't eat up all my memory. Was this the best way to do it? Who knows, but it works. Polish, polish, polish. I spent most of day 6 tweaking things to make sure everything feels right. My favourite addition is a post-processing effect when the camera is up, giving off major Outlast vibes. And thanks to a tutorial by Ben Clawford, however you say it, sorry if I butchered your name, I even made it glitch out when you're near an anomaly. Oh, and the anomalies. They're currently giant purple boxes, but they do work. Take a picture and poof, they're gone. We've finally made it to day 7. By the end of this day, I had a working demo and I'm pretty proud of it. There are only a few anomalies and 5 flaws, but hey, it's a start. I even threw in a basic jump scare and an NPC to make things more interesting, but they're really bad and need a lot of work. There's also a starter room that explains the controls and concepts to new players, if there are any. And that is Snapshot, my little anomaly detection game. That is hard to say. Little anomaly detection game made in just a week. If you want to try it out for yourself, the link to the game's itch.io page will be in the description. Let me know if you can make it to floor 0 and find all the anomalies. Also, if you did like this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out and lets me know you want to see more projects like this one, or maybe even a continuation of this one.